Welcome to Magicka, an adventure of sorts. So greetings all, this is David Fuchsa. Magicka is a 4-person co-op game that I recently bought to play with my friends. And, well, I figured I'd do a Let's Play of it because it is, a very interesting and distinct type of game. I think what we'll do is we'll play with the basic wizard, so we'll go find him in here somewhere. Let's go with the Aqua Marine Mage. We'll start with Chapter 1 so I can show you the tutorial for this game because it really does well to sort of tell you a little bit about it.
Stay a while and listen, and I will tell you a story. A story of dungeons and dragons, of orcs and goblins, of ghouls and ghosts, of kings and quests, but most importantly, of wizards and vampires. Well, a story of wizards. Once upon a time in a land known as Midgard, there lived a powerful wizard named Grimnir, who sought to harness the power of all magics, ancient spells crafted in times long forgotten. With such knowledge he might enable the wizards of the Order of Magic to spread eternal peace across the lands. But the Order of Magic instead felt threatened by his ambitions, and in the shadows they schemed and devised a treacherous plan. And so, Grimnir's disciples were expelled from the Order, and he himself was for all time imprisoned at World's End. All because of his dangerous lust for knowledge. Grimnir's dangerous ambitions dashed, the world was safe once more. Aside from the increased number of monsters attacking the good villagers. And of course the warlord Khan, who had united the orc tribes and now threatened the great city of Havendir. But in the dusty gloom of Castle Aldraheim, where the Order of Magic dwelled, a brilliant teacher and his finest pupils were about to embark on a journey that would prevent the world from changing forever.
And that's the introduction pretty much to Magicka.
Well there, je var flad, och je var dold vampyr. Ni var valda spatsen havendir, och hjälp odir. Så, annars de gode, Grimnir bords, monster i skogen, oder hjälp, je vlad, dold vampyr, ni spatsen havendir.
And that's the briefing. Now, if there were fewer players, they'd be like sitting in these chairs all over here. You can basically interact with people now, so you can like interact with Vlad here if you want to. If I want to, you can go over here. Examine stuff. There's basically like little interesting stuff, like you can look at the picture here. Anyhow, so a couple things about this game. As I already stated, I bought this game to play with my friends. There's like, a whole lot of interactive usefulness to this game itself, and I'll show you off in a little bit once we get to the tutorial area. He's just going to send us down here for now. If you buy this game, you can explore it yourself, but we're going to do a sort of like really quick run through Chapter 1.
Vi startet Dunka redan, men jag är redan vid halvroster. Vänta här, Felix special clippercord, ge mig roster.
Wow, tjena ge! Gäng Revner, ge skapar neder!
And we get blasted through the floor.
Vad är bra där ut? Spatcher iväg upp, ge mig hållplankar.
Alright, so here's the tutorial. Magic is a game where you can experiment and combine up to 5 elements to create spells. Experimentation is important as there is thousands of combinations at your disposal. But to conjure any elements at all, you first need a staff. Get one from the weapon rack. So we'll do that. We got our first element to start experimenting with. It's life. Life is a beam type of attack. Its properties are heal, cure poison, damage undead, and it's opposite arcane. And you'll find that in this game, the idea of opposites and like the type of magic and what their properties are, it's very important because you can get a lot of distinct type of attacks through the combination of these different type of elements, and you'll see as we get through this tutorial. So it seems like there's some damage, so let's heal ourselves up. And we're healed up. Let's cut this a little bit to get through. And we'll get a new element, Earth. So Earth is a projectile, it does physical damage, and its opposite is lightning. Very Earth-like. We can use it to blow through stuff like this. And we get fire. Fire is a spray. If, this fire over time causes panic, dries well, wet targets, and the opposite is cold. So let's burn this a little bit. Light it up. And that's a little bit too far for us to spray. Can't spray that far. So what we have to do is basically combine elements. Here's where you can get to experimentation part of this game. So we'll take a D, combine it with an F, and that'll give us the basics for a fireball, which we fire at full power. We'll explode and light that on fire. So it's worth knowing that there's these interactive stuff here in this part of the game. This is not a big thing, interactive stuff, but you do interact a lot with your spells, with targets and such. So it's super important for that sort of idea. And I will note that you will find stuff you can, light on fire or generators like this eventually in the game if you want. Alright, I'm wet, but a good trick to draw myself off is to light myself on fire. And it's worth knowing, if you are wet and you try and cast lightning, you damage yourself, as you can see. Okay, so that's done. Let's just, get through here. So you have to hit both of these at once. Best way to do is is telling you basically do an area spell. So press shift and do an area strike and hit everything. We get a new one. It's called Arcane. This is another beam one. Opposite is life. You already knew that. So it wants to tell you a little bit about opposites here. So we can't combine our A and D together to try get something to hit over there. It just doesn't work. But if we combine Arcane, this is a very short range thing. If we combine Arcane, we can use it to hit this. It's basically different properties to do stuff. Cold. Cold lets you freeze stuff. So this is flooded. We can't swim. We're a wizard. Har har. If we want to, we can just freeze this a little bit. Another alternative dose is to launch a cold rock, so to speak. That works out quite well as well. Water. Water lets you douse flames, and it soaks people. And it's really fun to use with lightning. So let's get rid of this out. Oh no, if you want to, you could actually run through this. Then you can just, put yourself out at the end. Alright, we got ourselves a masher here. That'll squish us if you try and, run by it. And by the way, you get achievements if you get all the spells. I haven't gotten them all yet, but whatever. How these magic work? Basically, you have to conjure the right elements that are listed down here for it, or what your magic is. So right now I've only got haste, but basically, as you get more magics, you basically use the certain elements that this one are lightning, arcane, and fire. You get them and you press space, and you can just haste yourself or whatever else type of effect you're trying for. Oh, 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 oh. And we made it. Imps are cowards, but they will attack if cornered. When your spell bar is empty, you can use either the force button to perform a push, or whatever else. We're just gonna kill these guys. Let's just do this little attack. This is a note, by the way. If you can combine elements like Q and F to make steam, and you can combine Q and R to make ice. So I'm just combining right now steam with lightning and arcane. And here's what the effect will be. Oh yes, damage. That was fun. So next door can be opened by pulling the lever at the other side of the room. So sometimes there's stuff you have to interact with to, you know, open stuff. And here is our first boss, so to speak. It's a mini boss. And we got our last element, shield. You can guess what this does. Basically, it shields you from enemies. You can boost it up with space, as you can see, if you want. And we'll also kill him, because we can. And there's how shield basically works, it's letting me protect myself. If I want to, I can make other type of shields too. Like there's the famous earth wall, so to speak. That shield will last for quite a while, though it'll, you know, obviously get more damage if you, damage it. If I want to, I could, like, interact with other stuff like this. Obviously, yeah, I hit the chandelier there, and, it fell on him. That's something you can sometimes do. You can interact sometimes with stuff. Get that out of the way.
Wow! Ny rappa! Je säger tittar ner gränsen. Ni vet, vissa tittar. GG's ni missar. Anywho, sen proppfäll ni. Det var nog bra om ni tar ni du.
So we'll get a few magic here once revive. It's very good for co-op, honestly. Crash the desktop. Meteor shower.
Det var superbäst med spatsen nu innan vi har Archidance.
It's also worth knowing, by the way, these guys, they're using, what they're, like, basically is happening. They're using, like, a sort of Swedish gibberish. The language is basically some, Swedish slang, so to speak. You'll also sometimes hear them, like, make like, image marks and other stuff for parody purposes. This game really is a really big parody, at its heart.
Oh no, ser vi vår kaffe hör
Don't want to actually talk to him. I want to talk to a specific wizard here. So this is like a little bit of a tutorial, this guy right here. He's telling you that if you can buy water and cold, you get ice. So, water, cold. Basically, ice. Anyhow, there's the place where we came in. We lost a banana. As you probably want to guess, the banana is basically a safe way of getting out if you need to. Alright, out we go. Another little thing, sometimes if you interact with stuff, then NPCs will, interact differently. So we picked up a staff from that chest. Want to interact with this?
If Morgus Batson, he Castaneda, Yelp, a me card. What? You have Trollifion. One it back. You're a noob. What? You have the.
By the way, these guys are killable, just so you know. That's also another thing to note, by the way. If you want to, like, you know, just not actually cast haste, but you want to cast lightning, arcane, and fire, you can. And yeah, I just killed that guy just to show that he's killable. In this game, everything that you find is killable. Even your friends.
Ah, du nej. Det bara passar norr. Det passar värre nu.
This is also part of another achievement, by the way, these dead mooses that you find over the place. Now, just to sort of show you off a little secret thing. You can use ice to cross over here. And by the way, there's also a bunch of achievements for just finding secret areas like this. So here's a friend who died. Yeah, he didn't solve the cheese problem, he just died. We'll just cross back over now. Alright, there we go, we're across. Let's go on our quest then, shall we? I haven't really started my adventure, so to speak, just yet, and by the way, there's a book up there that you'll eventually get to, but you can't get to this yet. Let's get across here. There's also a guard over here, by the way. Sometimes characters will also say different stuff if you keep clicking on them too. He just repeats those lines repeatedly though. Here's a checkpoint and we get ourselves a fairy. The fairy is a strange being. It resides at checkpoints. It is attracted to lonely souls, wanting to be a friend. To those who have none, it will sacrifice itself to simply revive those friends should they fall in battle. And I'm just gonna let you guess what this fairy is all about. You're gonna love the fairy if you play this game single player, so I don't really recommend doing it single player. You'll see why. It will happen. Oh no, goblins are attacking us. Alright. She's a quest, by the way. Yep, a bit more parody. And look, there's a goblin head right there. Yep, good old parody. Let's go pick up the staff. There's a lot of different like stats, by the way, in this game. By the way, your inventory basically can consist of two things: weapons and staves. Staves let you cast abilities. There it is. It has to be so helpful, you know, the fairy. But anyhow, you have like staves and weapons. Weapons let you attack stuff just, you know, without spells. And obviously, as you can see here, the Staff of Life, or whatever else type of staff is, you know, special abilities that it gives you passively or sometimes actively. In this case, as Revive, there's, you know, if I had friends, then it'd be useful for that. And here's a good old sword. You picked up Excalibur! In the rock. The sword in the rock.
Hej, lyssna!
Yep.
Om ni dörren så kan ni ge hatten.
Annoying little fairy. Anyhow, let's just get out of here. By the way, Excalibur, the famous sword and stone, complete with stone. And this is a sort of like, you know, tutorial that not all monsters are necessarily friendly with each other. So goblins aren't friendly with spiders. I'll note, by the way, that I was getting poisoned there, but because this staff, this basically staff lets you regenerate yourself, so it basically makes you resistant to poison. You just constantly heal yourself, and heals will cure poison.
Lyssna! Ni börjar leda sig att kompletta spelen.
Very useful advice.
Jätteräkning. Seriously? Nu du kastar raka ran. Nu danar med serien i terror. Abaramabamani. Eller, du kan inte fett.
So yeah, they're talking about Troll. Guess what we're about to be fighting?
Hej dig! Ge björn, modig karl. Vi spetsar alla bitar från.
We've got this ball! The skogsjägare!
By the way, you want to be really careful with your allies, so to speak, here, but...
Hjälpen, tack. Vi ser makten i manken. Ge people halvinder, heroder hjälp hast. Jag tittar ni var superlög så ni klarar det. Så, marscha idag. Men ge fägen alta. Ni kan yxor om ni mår bättre.
And he drops his axe. He's sort of, bugged there. He actually died. But whatever. We got his little speech. Sometimes if he dies, you'll get a soldier running in here and he'll give you a little bit of an exit text. So there's the first level complete in Magicka. I think that's enough just to sort of show you off what the game's all about. Hope you enjoyed, and let's just look at the next little bit here.
And so our young and bold wizards set forth on their quest, guiding them through the perils of the world was the dashing, handsome Vlad, who is by no means a vampire. As they approached Vornskugger Forest, it became clear that there was evil afoot.
So yes, there's evil afoot. And don't worry, dying is part of the game. Just have a buddy revive you. Though in single player, our buddy consists of the fairy. Alright, so at this point, we're in Chapter 2, and this is a really good stopping point just to sort of, you know, if you guys, you know, find this interesting, or if I see a lot of views comment, well, maybe I'll do the rest of the Magicka as like a sort of let's play. For now, though, I hope you enjoyed. And, I guess as a recommendation, I do actually suggest that you consider buying this game. It was actually, when I bought this game, it was actually 75% off, as well as all its DLCs, and
Hej, lyssna!
we'll let the fairy speak, of
Om du
course.
gör det, så kan det ge häpning.
Now that the fairy's done talking. This game, there are a couple of things about it. I don't think it's necessarily worth $10 alone, but if you get it the 75% deal on Steam or anything like that, it's definitely a worthwhile buy. There is a couple, bad things about it, so to speak, like bugs and game crashes and stuff like that, but once it's cheap enough, then, it's definitely worth it. Anyhow, take care for now. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.